Here's an immersive, narrative-driven summary of Undoing Urgency: Reclaim Your Time for the Things That Matter Most by Reynolds, rich with actionable depth and storytelling nuance. Ryan kicks off by describing a moment of reckoning, when every ping and deadline had him gasping for breath. He felt the pressure of urgency stacking like plates until one shattered, forcing him to question whether that frenzy meant meaning, or was simply noise. That raw vulnerability led him to build a roadmap out of overwhelm. He introduces the central metaphor of urgent flames that distract from deeper fires, values, goals, and meaningful pursuits. Those flashy sparks draw attention, but they burn hot only briefly. By refusing to stoke them, he teaches, we preserve the embers of long-term purpose. Drawing on his history as a strongman turned entrepreneur and family man, Ryan illustrates the stakes. He once carried the weight of others' expectations, clients, staff, fans. While starving what mattered most, his health, connection with his daughters, and creative calling. The first pivot he proposes is simple: wean yourself off to-do lists that privilege the urgent over the important. He doesn't vilify planning, but warns against mistaking a long list for progress. Small actions aligned with values matter more than busy work. From there he unfolds the game plan, goals, actions, metrics, execution, a compass to connect big-picture values to daily steps. It's not theory, it's a framework he used to shift from reactionary mode into intentional creation, grounded in clarity about what truly matters. He pulls readers into the tension of choosing voluntary hardship, doing uncomfortable but meaningful things now to build resilience for when crisis knocks. He describes early mornings writing essays, or pressing through a tough Zoom call, not because they were urgent, but because they enriched his capacity for what lay ahead. That chapter rises with his voice, less metaphor, more moment. He paints himself sitting alone with a journal, feeling his pulse slow as the noise peeled away. That discipline, he shows, becomes muscle memory for staying grounded amid external churn. Then comes delegation, his turning point. He confesses how solo ownership nearly flattened him until he learned to build a team that could carry his vision. Letting go of control didn't dilute his impact, it multiplied it. Those hard conversations became acts of trust and strategy. He threads throughout a theme of identity: urgency convinces us we are what we do, moment by moment. He challenges that, arguing we already are, capable, worthy, complete. By untethering identity from tasks, we free space to breathe, rest, and create instead of perform. A quieter rhythm emerges when he writes about tracking metrics, not numbers for their own sake, but meaning markers. He describes measuring not hours worked, but smiles shared, time on piano, morning pages finished. The metrics transform from scoreboard to compass. The narrative shifts to fun, because reclaiming time isn't about deprivation. Ryan recounts dinner on the porch where his youngest performed a silly song. He realized joy was buried under urgency until he dug her up. That memory pulses through the book: urgency mustn't rob our capacity to delight. As a coach, he reflects on clients who told him they felt bad for playing, as if rest was indulgence. Ryan dismantles that. He shows that reclaiming time for recovery, curiosity, and Sabbath isn't shirking, it's fertility for creative work. He frames urgency as a habit loop: external stimuli trigger stress, triggering busyness, which triggers more stimuli. Breaking that loop takes deliberate pauses, morning rituals, single tasking, guarded calendar times. He shares snippets of his own routines. A 10-minute sit before emails, a weekly digital Sabbath. The tone shifts as he explores failure, when a misaligned quarter in his business nearly tanked barbell logic. He admits his urgency reflex led to overreaction, micromanagement, anxiety. But by recalibrating through the game plan and leaning into delegation, he reclaimed both business health and his calm. Ryan ends with a mosaic of invitation and provocation. He doesn't prescribe a rigid morning regimen. Instead, he nudges readers to design a quarter, a month, a day that feels true. He offers prompts: what would you do if urgency didn't rule? Then presses: do that. The final scene lingers on his flashlight wandering across his daughter's art pinned to a wall after bedtime. In that silent moment, urgency recedes. What glows is connection, presence, intention. He leaves you there, holding that light in your own hands. Actionable invitation: begin with one measure, an email buffer, a no-meeting slot, a gratitude pause. Name what you want to grow, pick one small aligned action, measure it by presence not productivity. Watch the urgency fade, and the long-burning ember of meaning catch flame. This living narrative shows how undoing urgency walks you through dismantling the urgent's power and stepping into life that matters. Let me know if you'd like a practical worksheet or deeper dive into any chapter.